Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Leaderboard Esports. My name's Jimmy Basco.
And I'm Judy Jetset.
And welcome to this week's episode of Hero Select. Hero Select is where we talk about awesome people in esports doing awesome things. And who is our awesome person of this week?
Today, we're going to be talking about Peanut. He is the jungler on Kingzone right now, and they're doing amazingly. But he's had a pretty decent history of successes. It started, I think, he first got on the scene, really. I think he was signed by Najin Fire or something like that in like 2015. Right, but he was too young to play, as Korea seems to like really be okay with people that are too young to play.
Yeah, signing before they can actually get in.
I mean, they've got all the talent, so props to them. But Peanut really got on the scene in the beginning of the 2016 split on Rox Tigers. Now, Rox had already been kind of escalating at that point and like gaining notoriety and popularity, but when Peanut got on there, they just started dominating. It was just amazing because Peanut has this aggressive play style that is just really unparalleled, or has been for a long time. Well, we can get to that because after that, after Rox Tigers, they made it all the way to, I want to say, semifinals against SKT in 2016 Worlds. They got knocked out after an amazing series that is really close to my heart because it was at MSG. We can talk about that later too. But after that, the whole team disbanded. Peanut got acquired by SKT and had an amazing run there, although it was a little shaky and dramatic due to a couple things. Lots of things different, including Huni being their top laner. That added a whole bunch of awkwardness and drama there. They made it all the way to World Finals, where they lost to Samsung Galaxy. And after that, Peanut got signed to Longzhu, who is now Kingzone Dragon X, I want to say. Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. And I want to, literally, the moment they hit the ground with that name, dominating ever since. They have a 16-2 record right now in the spring split of 2018. They literally dropped 2 games. They flew through these last playoffs, and they're going to be at MSI. And I mean, I don't think anyone can take that team. It's amazing. Yeah, and I really do think a lot of it has to do with Peanut. His aggressive playstyle is unparalleled, in my personal opinion. And especially in the wake of a meta, Peanut got big when people were playing Rek'Sai. You know, when people were playing like kind of tanks, people were playing
like disruption champions.
Yeah, but like engage type deals, like not, you know. So meta constantly changes, and junglers kind of seem to get the short end of the stick, where they kind of get relegated to support. Like think of the Iverns, think of the Rek'Sais. They have to build really tanky and have to engage, or have to have engage qualities, CC, that, you know, stuff like that. But Peanut stood out. He was playing an aggressive Rek'Sai. He was playing Olaf. He was playing all kinds of carry junglers. He was playing, I think he played Elise.
Elise, wow.
Yeah, I think you
brought him back.
Yeah, he played Elise in a pretty important series. I forget which one it was, but it was really notable and noteworthy. And it was, for me, the parallel is the aggressive, bloodthirsty kind of killer instinct of a player in game, and then the most mild-mannered, sweetest, most adorable player out of game. It was just, it's magical to see someone who is that good, that bloodthirsty, that aggressive, and yet also so sweet and relatable. So back to MSG 2016, Rox Tigers are against SKT, and I mean, needless to say, that game was amazing. They took it all the way to 5 games, but like I said, that was at Madison Square Garden. So when I was there, because of course I was there, I want to say I was almost parallel with their seats, with Rox Tiger seats, and just, first off, you could see the emotion on his face. It was palpable. I think that might have been one of the largest stadiums that he had ever played in at this point.
MSG, dude,
and
that's no joke.
I mean, not only did you practically sell out MSG, you hands down had the toughest opponent going into that playoffs, and they were so on point. But you could see his nerves, like you could see it, like the emotion was on his face. But he never let it get to him. Not only did he never let his play diminish as a result of it, but he was constantly like waving to the fans, hyping people up, and it got so emotional that I want to say, as he was fighting back tears, shaking the hands of SKT, the whole stadium was cheering for Peanut, was crying out Peanut's name. SKT had just won. SKT, the favorites, had just won.
Right.
We were saying props to Peanut and thanking him for gracing us with his presence on MSG. It was amazing. And like, I mean, not to say that the rest of the team wasn't amazing also, but he was just really the linchpin of that. On top of that, you figure that someone who rises to fame so quickly, gets so famous at such a record pace for being so flashy and good with his plays, he was super modest.
Yeah,
he's super like downplayed and sweet.
We saw a couple clips of him, and he's so like interactive. Like, it's easy to see his emotions. He's not like closed off. He's
literally just like streaming. He was one of the first SKT members to stream on Twitch when they had this initiative after leaving Azubu, and he like jumped on it, and it was. He was already talking to people. He was making an effort to learn English. I remember having a clip of him saying like he would try to learn more English so he could interact with his American fans. Dude, of course the internet blew up when that happened. But I mean, it's just that's what I like about pro players. You know, when they can really relate to people, when they can when they play the game for the love of it, and they interact with people for the love of interacting with people. You know, and you see it. Like there was this. Did you see that one clip where he was drinking on stream and like having a great time.
So precious.
And like innocent, sweet Peanut had to like stop himself from Coma had to come in, like his manager, the team coach had to come in and literally stop the stream because he was afraid that Peanut was gonna overshare. Yeah,
like he showed up, he was out of breath. He was like, "Did you say anything dumb?"
I ran all the way back here. And Peanut looked at him and he's like, "Wow, you're here so late." Like
he's like, "Wait, I gotta go to the bathroom. Give me a second."
Right? And Coma was like, "Wait, we have a brand to take care of here. Hold on." And that's the kind of atmosphere that he brings about him, right? It's always just camaraderie, even with players on other teams, right? There was this insanely sweet moment where he was streaming again, and there was a conversation with Gorilla, who was a player on Rocks Tigers, but then, like I said, after they lost to SKT, they disbanded, right? So he was talking to the Gorilla, who, I forget what team he was on. Do you remember what team he was on when he got kicked out? So Gorilla was on Longzhu. Okay, so Gorilla was, okay. So Gorilla was on Longzhu while Peanut was on SKT. Thank you, Zane. Longzhu got knocked out, and Gorilla messaged him, like just in the middle of solo queue, and was like, "I can't believe we're out. God, I feel so empty." Like he just poured his heart out. And Peanut was there to console him. And he said, "Sometimes that's the way it is."
And sometimes it is the way it is, but it's so heartbreaking. You know, they put so much of their like soul, emotion, like into the game itself.
Yeah, it's really hard to remember, right? That these are people too sometimes, right? You see them as a bundle of stats, and that's something that I think that, for example, Overwatch is kind of getting really wrong, right? You just see them as a bundle of plays in a highlight reel, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people, they were afraid, like when they saw these like Korean rosters coming to the Overwatch League, like they're gonna be so distant. Like, how could you ever relate to New York or Striker on Boston Uprising? Like, we've seen in these past games, like I want to mention Striker specifically because super recently he was caught after they had a super intense game. Striker was playing out of his mind. He was just in tears as soon as the game ended because, you know, he put so much time and effort into it. And he's like, I want to say he's probably one of the most aggressive tracers in the game right now. Like if he sees a 1v1 opportunity, he's gonna go for it. Like it's in other situations, like if it was me, it would be dumb if I kept going. Because I'm not that good of a tracer. I go for those, you lose it, then it snowballs, right?
It's a risky play.
Exactly, it's risky. He takes those risks, he comes out on top in person, he's like, "Hi, like, nice to see you." Like, he's just happy-go-lucky. It's like fantastic.
And that's honestly like such a good, that's a sign of good mental, you know what I mean? Like when you can have that kind of iron will and that aggressiveness and that bloodthirst, and you know what you have to do in game, but you can step back and say, you know, I'm still cool, I still like people, I still enjoy my time being social and being in front of the camera. You know, I don't know of many other League players that have that kind of chemistry with the camera.
Hello.
I mean, there is Huni, but Huni, see, the thing is, the difference with Huni is he's a ham, okay? I love him, with all my heart. He's my hero, but he's a ham. Whereas Peanut like is cool. He enjoys. He's not like looking for the camera.
What is a ham?
You know, come on. When he like gets like where he acts up for the camera. You know what I mean? Like when Huni knows there's a camera on him, he's gonna do something goofy. You know what I mean?
Otherwise, maybe not.
I guess maybe. I feel like he's pretty excitable, but also that excitability I kind of think translates into game, where Huni kind of will have a playstyle which is aggressive, and then never understand when it's time to dial back. You know what I mean? So that can kind of backfire, kind of colossally.
Ooh.
You know? So Peanut, I think, somehow has kind of drilled his aggression down to a science. So he can not only be a powerhouse in game, but then also leave that in the game and still be cute and funny everywhere else.
Yeah, I think that's really the key, like finding that line and walking it finally. Because, you know, Striker, he does it exceptionally. If I was like to think of someone else that comes to mind, like maybe SBB or something, but even then he's like not that aggressive. But like really, maybe Rascal. Like maybe you guys have seen the Twitch clips online where he's like, I have brush. Like this guy is an absolute personality. And
I have brush.
You have what?
Yeah, brush.
What? Just brush.
Brush! GG.
You knew.
he's cute, he's lovable, but unfortunately right now he's not signed to an Overwatch League team.
Aww.
Yeah, he was on the Dallas Fuel recently, but they had DPS problem. And they were like, Rascal's just not gonna work. And he's world class, you know what I mean? Like from London Spitfire, but he somehow doesn't let it impact who he is.
Right, I think, and that's I think huge as well, because you know aggressive players only have a limited scope in like they have a limited role in their game, right? When you're an aggressive jungler, the whole team has to change for you, right? Because the meta is inclined to put you on a tank, or to put you on an engaged champion, to put you on somebody that kind of is not a main damage dealer, right? Because you know, at least I don't know, in Overwatch, I think maybe it might be dedicating space and time, and I don't know what resource dedication
it's very
looks
similar
like.
because like you know the way you structure yourself in a team fight, you just have to work on positioning beforehand. If your jungler is going to be aggressive, you know, try to be there, be closer to the other team so you can close that engagement.
Yeah,
with Striker, they'll do the same.
Okay,
pretty
so
much, yeah.
right, so in order, I imagine that Rascal kind of needs a place made for him, right? In the same way that kind of Peanut definitely needs a team to work around his strengths and weaknesses, and just have resources funneled towards you. You know, I was thinking as we were talking, like this ability to be aggressive and yet not have it come back to you, we've actually seen the opposite among some of our Western players.
Yeah.
And so I find that really interesting that so far, most of the people, if not all of the people we've mentioned, have been Korean.
Yeah, it might even be like an environmental thing. Like they're, you know, the way that they have structured the esports scene in Korea just kind of lends itself to them being able to have more confidence in themselves, I think. But even then, like they still show so much emotion.
Yeah, I think that the closest thing we get in NA is probably High, that we did a video on a couple weeks back. So if you want to take a look at that, see how a North American keeps a cool head, that's pretty cool too. But for tonight, I want to give my heart to Peanut. I will protect you always, Peanut. You are so sweet and I love you. Thank you. So junglers, what's your playstyle? Are you aggressive like Peanut or do you like to hang back? Comment below and let us know. And let us know if there's anyone else you want us to feature in Hero Select in the future.
Yep, that is it for Hero Select this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We have been Leaderboard Esports. My name is Jim Basco.
And I'm Judy Jetset.
And that's it for this week. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell icon to become part of our notification squad today. We're going to be uploading 3 times a week, so if you love content about Overwatch League, League of Legends, or esports in general, you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled. Thanks for watching. Once again, we've been Leaderboard Esports. We'll catch you guys next time.